My summer job ruined my life, all because of one slip up with just one person. I'll never be able to sleep at night. 3 months ago, I signed up to be an instructor for a bungee jump off at an abandoned railway viaduct called Skeleton Bridge. It's a tourist trap, for sure, but more of a spot for locals, if that makes any sense. There were 6 instructors, including me, split into a morning and afternoon shift. I worked afternoons with a slower, older gentleman, along with another guy about my age, named Ray. Ray was an annoying creep from the very start, always flirting with the female jumpers, taking advantage of their trust in us and their nerves about the jump. Honestly, I swear, the only reason we didn't get shut down for harassment after the first week was because I made sure to be in charge of attaching the harness. It's the most complicated part of the job, making sure everything is tight and secure for each person's body. But it's also when the jumpers are at their most vulnerable, as we come into close physical contact while they stand with their arms and legs apart. I never wanted to let Ray get the chance to cop a feel on some unexpected woman and claim it was part of the process. As for the other 2 guys, they didn't have to do much. The older gentleman spouted off safety instructions and had people sign the necessary waivers. Then all Ray had to do was clip the rope onto the harness and coax the more timid jumpers over the edge. It was a safe but efficient assembly line that kept the line short, but it was prone to breaking down. For instance, when the most attractive woman any of us had ever seen on the bridge came to jump, her name was Maria. We don't usually get onto a first name basis with every jumper, but how could anybody blame us for wanting to be friendly with her? Unfortunately, it led to some, shall I say, crowding. As I was attaching her harness, Ray came over from the edge and butted in, quickly embarrassing himself.
You're doing it wrong.
What?
Don't listen to him. I've done this 1,000 times. Trust me, you want me to do it. He doesn't know how to handle a woman with curves like you. Dude, come on.
Oh, he's not gonna handle any part of me. He's gonna do his job, then you're gonna do your job. Got that, bungee boy?
Yeah, whatever. Dumbass.
Stay focused.
Okay, well, maybe we both embarrassed ourselves a bit, but despite the distraction, I made sure her harness was properly attached and ready to go. I'm positive. Once I double-checked everything, I sent her back over to Ray for the jump. A few seconds later, as I was still trying to eavesdrop on their conversation, the next jumper came up, so I had to begin telling them about how it was going to fit on them. The plan was to have them be almost ready to go by the time that girl Maria was done with her jump. Depending on how long she took to go through with it, over my shoulder, I could hear her hesitation. Pretty soon, Ray offered a solution. He could give her a little push. Technically, we weren't allowed to do that. The law said that we had to let them go on their own accord, but realistically, some people need the help. However, I wasn't thinking about the legality of the whole thing. I rolled my eyes, thinking this was typical of Ray, rushing and pressuring jumpers to go before they were ready, convincing them to ask for that push, anything for an excuse to put his hands on a woman. To my surprise, she agreed. I wanted to go over there and make sure everybody present was thinking clearly, but I thought better of it. That seemed excessive, and I had something else to focus on, so I let it go. If only I had looked over my shoulder just a few seconds earlier.
Ready?
Yeah!
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm ready!
All right, 3, 2, 1. No! The rope! Huh? Ray, you idiot! How could you forget the rope? What are you talking about? This was your one job! Don't pin this on me! This is your fault! Liar! Murderer! You should go down there with her! You bastard! I'll kill you! Somebody help! Get this guy off me! He's crazy! You'll pay for this! You'll pay! You did it on purpose, didn't you? It should have been you at the bottom of the valley, not her.
Since that day, I have not seen the sun. I've spent every hour behind bars, desperately trying to prove my innocence. It was Ray's responsibility to ensure the cord was attached to the jumpers. It was his only responsibility, but he continues to lie, to distort the truth and gaslight everyone involved. He claims I was supposed to attach the cord, when it was up to him every single time. Ray's just that type of person, a slimy, spineless rat. He will never admit the truth, but one way or another, I'll make sure he faces justice. On June 13th, Maria Eduardo Rodriguez de Freitas, 21, died after falling about 131 feet from a bridge in Brazil. Police said Rodriguez de Freitas was launched from the bridge without being connected to the equipment meant to stop her fall. Investigators say the rope jump instructors charged in the case do not remember who was supposed to attach or check the safety ropes. Video of the incident shared online appeared to show the two men lifting Rodriguez de Freitas and tossing her from the bridge as onlookers realized she was not attached to a safety rope and shouted, "Guys, the rope!" She was launched, airplane style, with instructors lifting her above their shoulders as they spread her arms. 6 people were questioned in connection with the incident, though only 3 of the instructors remained in custody. After Game 5, I was on cloud 9. The Knicks just won the NBA Finals. I was riding a once-in-a-lifetime buzz, drunk off my ass after kicking it with thousands of the most awesome strangers I had ever met. Eventually, though, I had to find my way back. I was hundreds of miles from home, in what was, as far as I was concerned, some backwater town in Texas. I couldn't get home until the next day, but somewhere in that rioting mess, a quiet, safe hotel room was waiting for me. I made sure to book it within somewhat reasonable walking distance of the game, though I was too messed up for anything to be simple. For who knows how long, I stumbled around in circles, checking my phone, trying to get service, struggling to read a single line on the map, so incapable of finding my way that I was starting to get pissed off at myself. I had done too much and screwed myself over. However, the wonderful city of San Antonio, Texas would soon sober me up. With a warm, swampy welcome, I had traveled there by myself, gone to the game with just my single ticket, partied with the crowd, and split off on my own when I felt like it. But now, all of a sudden, I was alone. A fat bitch was following me. Had I been able to walk straight, I could have lost her. She was staring at me as she shook the earth and waddled in my direction, a look of depraved, gluttonous desire on her immense face. I knew I had been the target for my apparent weakness, yet even in that state, I was not willing to go there, not with her. As I pressed on, straining her limited stamina, I inadvertently drew out her rage. This forced an unfortunate realization upon me. She didn't want me. She wanted to beat me because I had beaten her. Not me specifically, but the Knicks had taken the finals from the Spurs, in their home city no less, and I was proudly fitted up head to toe in Knicks gear. The whale telling me had managed to find herself a Spurs jersey in a quintuple XL. My drunken idiot brain started to connect the dots, as Miss Godzilla let out the first of many nuclear screeches.
Stop running! Face me like a man!
Just drop it, fatty. Look, there's a McDonald's right there. Ain't you hungry?
For as fat as she was extremely persistent. I could try to run, but would just as easily trip over a pothole and eat shit, landing me in a much worse position. Even if I suddenly ran into my hotel, the lard lady would probably burst through the door and crush me to death in my sleep. In the end, I made a decision, a drunken decision. I stopped, turned around, and faced her.
Stop following me, you nasty fat bitch! The Spurs are trash and I ain't gonna hit, so just go home!
You think I want you, Twig? You ain't worth shit to me. All I want is that gear.
What, my jersey?
All of it.
Yeah, right! None of it'll fit you!
Shut up! All you Knicks fans come here and trash the city. My home. I deserve some compensation.
You bitches always want something to eat.
Enough! After tonight, that gear's gonna be worth a fortune, so you're gonna give it to me.
I don't know what happened, but the second I saw that knife, all my drunken courage evaporated. I started to say something smart like, "How are you gonna catch up to me?" But then I stumbled over my words. I could have just turned around and ran for my life, but I was too scared to take my eyes off her. I tried to take a step back, but just ended up tripping on nothing. The second I ended up on my back and my head slammed against the ground, I knew what was about to happen.
You messed up now, pretty boy.
No! No! Ah!
Let me just get comfortable.
Please! Stop! I can't breathe!
What's that, hun? Oh, you poor thing. Are you in pain? I can help with that, you know.
Get off me, bitch!
Only if you agree to strip down and give me every piece of Nick's gear you got.
I'll do it! I'll do it! Please, just get up!
All right.
Give me a second.
I said now!
Okay, fine. Just take my shit. I don't care about it. Just take it and go.
After that mountain of a woman robbed me, I searched for someone on the street to call the police for me. It took longer than I would have hoped for a frightened naked man to get a 911 call, and longer still for the police to actually show up. But I'm sure the sore loser Spurs fans were giving them a hard time. Despite forcing me to stay in San Antonio for far too long, I didn't end up losing much from the incident, not monetarily anyway. My pride will never recover. Luckily, a woman her size was quite easy to point out in a lineup, so she'll get to face the consequences of what she did to me. This summer story was inspired by a San Antonio woman who was accused of robbing 2 New York Knicks fans at knife point following an NBA Finals game earlier this month. Absidy Michelle Rodriguez, 30, has been charged with aggravated robbery in connection with the June 14th incident in downtown San Antonio. According to an arrest warrant, a 31-year-old woman and a 31-year-old man were walking in the area after the NBA Finals game while wearing New York's Knicks apparel when they were approached by Rodriguez and 3 unidentified suspects. Investigators say Rodriguez was armed with a knife and demanded the victims hand over their Knicks clothing. The victims were allegedly assaulted by Rodriguez and the other suspects during the encounter. The suspects forcibly took property from the victims without their consent before fleeing the scene in a vehicle. Investigators said the victims were able to photograph the vehicle and obtain identifying information before it left the area. Officials said one of the victims positively identified Rodriguez in a photo lineup as the person who committed the robbery. Rodriguez was arrested and charged with aggravated robbery. The case remains under investigation. When my wife and I first started having kids, we figured we were ready to hunker down. After leading rather crazy lives through our 20s, it was time to get serious and build a family. We always figured that once the youngest went off to college, we could pick up where we left off, albeit much older. Tragically, that was an assumption made in vain. Our youngest never left. He never grew up, never made anything of himself, becoming a heavier burden year after year. And with each day, the problems he had in his youth didn't go away with age. They magnified. Years ago, he used to get bullied for being the weird kid. I can't blame the other kids. My son is a creep. He liked to stalk girls, pull their hair out, and when he got into fights with the other boys, he clawed and bit. By the time he was a teenager, the other kids didn't pick on him anymore. They just avoided him. He never had any friends. All he cared about was killing things. We never had a problem with rats or snakes because of him. What he did with the dead pests after he killed them, I don't want to know. However, that alone did not make up for everything else he leached off of us. He refused to go to college, get a job, or do any housework. We tried various means of getting him out, yet nothing worked. Despite knowing that I could get hurt, I still get into fights with my son. I can't help it. The things he says piss me off like nothing else. Nobody in their right mind could even come up with the kind of things he said just last night at the dinner table.
This salmon is excellent, dear.
Oh, thank you, dear. It's nothing really.
It could be better.
I suppose it is a little overdone.
Now, hold on, Rose. Don't take that from him. Boy, apologize to your mother.
I'm sorry, it's just a little fishy.
It's fish. It's going to be a little fishy.
I know, but I'm not used to it like you are.
Well, then what would you rather eat?
Like you would ever share.
Speak up.
Fine, I want to eat Mom.
Take that back this instant.
Don't worry, Dad. I don't want to eat her like you do. I don't like that fishy shit. I want it raw, bloody, juicy, right off the bone at 98 degrees Fahrenheit.
Damn you, boy!
I lost control. I got up and lunged at him, reached across the table and pulled him in close to give him the beating he deserved. We traded blows, destroying the entire spread in the process. It only lasted a few seconds before I came to my senses and pushed him off, but dinner was already ruined. At that point, I couldn't stand to be around my son, and storming out of the house after dark, there was only one place to go. I went to the bar, where I had a few drinks and talked to some folks about what happened. They just let me vent until I downed my third pint, by which point I was finally calm enough to return home. When I got there, it was past midnight. The lights were off, so I expected everyone to be asleep. The house was quiet, but something wasn't right. The kitchen wasn't clean. My wife always made sure it was spotless before bed. I went to check our room to check on her. She wasn't in bed either. The bathroom was empty. It's like she had vanished halfway through her nightly chores. There was only one other person who might know where she'd gone or what she was up to. Walking up to my son's room, I knocked on his door. Trying not to stir things up again so soon, he didn't respond. I only gave it a few seconds before opening the door anyway. His room was empty too. Where the hell was everyone? By now, my level of concern was winning the fight against the beer trying to calm me down. I marched back into the bedroom and grabbed my old billy club in case something was up. A little better equipped, I canvassed the house. All the rooms were empty. The last place to check was the garage. Stepping into the garage, I fumbled my hands across the wall until I found the light switch. Then I flipped it, finally laying bare the unimaginable truth. My wife was laid out on the concrete. She was in pieces. Our son was hovering over her, soaked in her blood. His hands reached inside and pulled up pieces of her. He brought a chunk to his mouth and took a bite as he turned his head to glare at me.
No! Why have you done this? What have you done?
The devil exists. He is in me. We ate Mom.
Ah!
He looked away from me to take another bite, but I couldn't let him. I ran forward and clubbed him. He didn't go down. He didn't fight back. He just put up his bloody hands and took it. Once I was sure he couldn't run, I let up and called the police. Stayed on him until they arrived. That was just last night. I'm still processing. My son's finally gone, but now so is my wife. Any hope I ever had going back to my old life with her is dead, along with her. This summer story was inspired by an incident involving a Minnesota man who is now facing an automatic life sentence after a judge convicted him of taking out and partially eating his own mother in their lakeside home. Eric Leaf Jordahl, 26, was found guilty for the death of his 62-year-old mother, Rosalie Rose Johnson. The attack took place on January 23rd of 2020 inside their house. It started late that night in Johnson's bedroom. She had told her son to go back to bed when he suddenly attacked her, and then began stabbing her multiple times with a butcher knife, and then biting her. Medical examiners later determined he also cut up and ate parts of her body while she was still alive. The next morning, Jordahl's father, Andrew Jordahl, came home and found his son standing in the garage covered in blood. The son told him, "The devil exists. It's in me, and I ate Mom." The conviction carries an automatic life sentence without parole. He heads back to court Monday for a hearing on his mental illness defense, which could send him to a psychiatric facility instead of prison.